By the end of this class, you're gonna be able to learn how to make a very versatile dish, stuffed shells. Hi everybody, I'm Sasha Sincic. I'm a private chef and I'm here with the Desire Company. For this class today, I'm gonna teach you how to make a delicious stuffed shell recipe that you're absolutely going to love. Oh, and did I mention it's vegan? You'll never know. All you need for this recipe are jumbo shells, a vegetable, I chose broccoli, onion, marinara, vegan ricotta, vegan mozzarella, vegan Parmesan cheese, a food processor, and a good-sized baking dish. So the couple things you're gonna need are the filling. So I like to start out with sauteed onions. So I do like to saute them to bring out a little bit of their sweetness and caramelization. And then we're gonna use broccoli today. Oftentimes you'll find a stuffed shell recipe with spinach or sausage if you're doing a non-vegan recipe, but today, since we're keeping it vegan, I'm gonna use some broccoli. This broccoli was frozen and we just steamed it off real quick. Boil it, you could put it in a bowl with some water and cover it in the microwave and you can steam it up real quick. So that's a nice, easy trick. All right, so you're gonna need your big food processor. You could use a blender as well, but I like the food processor with this recipe because you can use the pulse option, which I'll show you about it, and that makes it the texture that we want. So we're gonna add the broccoli to our food processor, and then we're gonna add the sauteed veggies right in. All right, here we go. Just kind of move that around so it's all in. Okay, so I'm using the food processor for this recipe. I absolutely love the food processor. It's one of my favorite kitchen gadgets I've ever owned. It's not super complicated. It's just got 3 settings here, a low, a high, and a pulse. To pulse is what I'm gonna show you right now is you don't want it to constantly spin. You kind of want it to stop, so it's more like chopping whatever is in here. It actually just chops things a lot quicker than if you were to do it by hand with a knife. So you wanna make sure this lid is locked on tight, just like the base. And what we're gonna do is just pulse all the veg that we've got in here. Okay, so we're gonna pulse it, and I'm just gonna keep my eye on the filling. I want the broccoli to get chopped up pretty small, but not until a liquid. So we're just gonna pulse it, I'll say probably 8 times. All right, let's see what we look like here. That is perfect. All right, so this is what you want the filling to look like. It's not quite super fine because you see you still have your onions that have their shape, but the broccoli is cut super small, and this actually kind of mimics the texture of meat. So like I said before, a lot of people use sausage in this recipe. Today we're using broccoli. I actually have some pre-cooked jumbo shells, so you just cook them just like the package. Sometimes I like to cook them about a minute under because when they cook in the oven, they continue to cook. So I'm just gonna put them to the side because I'm gonna use this bowl. Okay, so in one big bowl, all the filling goes in. So you're gonna take the blade out, just be careful of your fingers. Set that to the side. Now, the broccoli, the onions, the garlic, that's what we have all in this filling. It's all gonna go into one big bowl. So we're gonna empty this filling into a bowl. Next, we're gonna grab the ricotta filling. So what makes this vegan is this dairy-free ricotta. You can find this at a specialty food store. You can order it online. This stuff tastes delicious and it has no dairy at all, which is amazing. So we're just gonna use 2 tubs of this. So it's about 16 ounces, which does sound like a lot, but once you get this filling made, you can actually freeze this filling if you have a little bit too much left over, and you can just unfreeze it and use it for another time you wanna make this dish. So we're gonna put both tubs in here, and then we're gonna add a little bit of Italian seasoning. You can make your own or you can buy it store-bought. We're gonna add about a tablespoon. Okay, and then I'm gonna add 1 more pinch of salt and pepper just to make sure we've seasoned it perfectly. So that was 2 more pinches of salt. Okay, some grinds of pepper. And the last thing we're gonna add to this filling is a little bit of dairy-free Parmesan cheese, which you can also find at your specialty food store, or you can order it online. So we're just gonna add about a 1/4 cup of the Parmesan cheese into this filling, and now we're just gonna mix it up. All right, kinda gotta work your spoon with the filling to get it nice and incorporated. And the good thing about this ricotta cheese too is it does act like a binder. You don't have to add an egg, which is what's typically in like a stuffed shell filling or a lasagna filling. But since this is vegan, we're just gonna leave the egg out and it's gonna turn out just fine. All right, so that's kind of what you want it to look like. Next step, stuffing the shells, topping them with the marinara and throwing it in the oven. All right, so we are just gonna grab your favorite jarred marinara. You can certainly make it from scratch. And we're just gonna put about a half a cup on the bottom of your baking dish. And this will make sure that the shells don't stick to the bottom. So we're just gonna put about a half a cup. All right, kind of spread that out in a nice even layer on the bottom of the baking dish. Just like that. Doesn't have to be perfect because you're just gonna lay shells right on top. Now you can take your shell and just stuff it. This is about a quarter cup, maybe 2 to 3 tablespoons, right into the shell just like this. Since we have a lot of filling, I'm just gonna make them a little bit bigger. And then you're gonna take the stuffed shell, set it right in here, and you're gonna continue to do that to the rest of these and just line them up in your baking dish. Now that you've got all of your shells nice and stuffed and laid out evenly in the pan, we are just gonna top them with some marinara. All right, just right over the top of the shells like that. Just do it to every single one. You can use your favorite store-bought. I love this brand Rayo's. I actually loved the restaurant when I went to it in Vegas. I was so excited to see that they sold it in the store, and it really is just my favorite top-notch marinara that I can find store-bought if I'm not making it on my own. So we are gonna top it with some dairy-free mozzarella cheese, about a half cup, just to cover the top, just like this. Just like you would do any other, lasagna, baked, delicious pasta. Right over the top here, and then we're gonna finish it off with some of the grated Parmesan cheese, vegan parm. About a half cup of the Parmesan cheese, and then we're gonna throw it in a 400-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. Everything's cooked on the inside, so you just want it to get nice, browned, and bubbly. So we pulled these out of the oven. Now I'm just tearing a little bit of basil on the top, sprinkling with a little more of that Italian seasoning, and these are ready to devour. When you make this, you're absolutely going to love it. The fact that it's vegan still blows my mind. No dairy at all. It's incredible.
Are you looking for more product advice and wisdom from me?
Or me?
Or me?
Hit that subscribe button or head over to thedesirecompany.com for more classes, how-tos, and reviews.